What's up, man? RPT. We got producer Rob in the building. What's up, big dog?
What up, brother? Man, you got that drippy drip on your head. I like that.
That's that drippy drip. No, I'm talking about. Don't slip on the drip. No, I'm talking about.
The new stuff just dropped yesterday, by the way. For those that are wondering, the new Astros, the uniform, they just dropped them yesterday. The lines for the new merch at the stadium were already around all of downtown Houston last night at like midnight, I think.
That's because Houston is the shit, man.
Dude, I saw this video of this lady who's like a party organizer or whatever. I forgot her name. I don't want to shout out the wrong person, but she's creating these herds of people at these downtown clubs. I didn't even know it was still popping like this. Like, it looked like it was Miami. And they're like, oh, you got a $5,000 table. You got 10 bands on yours. Let's get your, they're just like, they got HPD down there and just like, I'm like, what is going on downtown? I know it's spring break, but I mean, who's dropping that many bands on a on a party in downtown Houston?
A nightclub?
Nightclub, dog.
And how'd you hear about this lady?
Somebody sent me the video and they were like, check out the nightlife of Houston. And I think I might have actually sent it to you, to be honest with you. Check it out later after the podcast, but it was wild.
There's so many different hustles out there, man. I just got off the phone with my friend Midnight. Shout out Midnight. Jesus Castillo.
Shout out.
His government name. And, it's crazy, dude. Like, being a content creator, just basically somebody that don't really got, like, for me, I'm speaking for me. I didn't pick up no trade. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't just be like, man, I'm a barber for the next 6 months. It's like, nah, dog, you got to go to barber school and you got to get a license and you got to put in the hours. Like, I'm not one of them dudes that's like, man, I'm just going to be a trucker for the rest of the year. It's like, no, you could barely, you don't know how to do that. So yeah, me and my buddy Midnight were talking. He's like, man, like, yo, I need some feedback on this content creation stuff. I was like, bro, I was like, pray. This was my advice. Pray. Have faith. It's trippy, right? But you know what? There's so many different hustles out there. I mean, hell, look at my wife, dude. She's like in the Western wear game right now. Like, Houston rodeo, in the mix, long hours. She's in the boutique game, women's apparel. Like that. And this is like hell off subject because we're gonna get into like the price of eggs, price of gas. Like,
We'll get there.
The Democrats' approval is now down to 27%.
I think the worst in history.
We're gonna talk about APAC. We talking about everything, but I will say this. I love being Chingo Bling. I love being a stand-up comedian. And we are going to sell out El Paso, Texas. Y'all know we got a whole weekend coming up. Phoenix, we got a whole weekend coming up. So just real quick, man, before we hop in, April 9th, Harlingen, Texas. Hit up the website. You can get a table, a VIP table. Get you that 4 topper. Hit me up, man. April 9th, Harlingen. April 10th, South Padre Island. Dude, Isla Grande Beach Resort. Very intimate club, super fire lineup. April 11th, New Braunfels. It's going down in New Braunfels big time. Chandler, Arizona, a whole weekend. Mic Drop Comedy Club, April 17th through the 19th. We got Mario Superstar Salazar pulling up on us. We got Anthony A on the lineup. A couple surprise guests. El Paso, Texas, at the Comic Strip, April 24th through the 26th. I got a bunch of sponsors. I'll be shouting them out on my Instagram. So I'm going to be doing a lot of appearances in a lot of cities, like before the show and, stopping by, showing love. And, you know what I'm saying? We got sponsors and stuff, dog.
Hey, man, if you need some more hands on deck, let me know. I'm planning on going to the New Braunfels show anyway.
Oh, okay. Yeah, for sure, dude. You could be security like a motherfucker.
Yeah, right. like we did down south.
McAllen.
McAllen.
Dude, I didn't even make it to jiu-jitsu today, dude.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I know, because... And I'll just give you the quick explanation. So, all right, when you auditioning to be like a stay-at-home dad, sometimes you feel guilty, like having like cause like me going to jiu-jitsu is almost like my wife going to get her nails done. You know what I mean? It's like me time. So I feel bad doing some me time. So I was just waiting for her to leave. So I could just be like, oh shit, I'm gonna just go for an hour real quick and no harm, no foul, don't nobody know nothing. It's like an NGO slush fund, you know what I mean? It's like don't nobody know nothing. And I was just waiting around. I'm like, fuck. I was like, dude, you might as well just work out the house, like work on the gas tank, just get into like an intense 30-minute and then start listening to your material and getting to work because you got shows coming up. So yeah, that was my excuse, dude. I was gonna go, but I just kept waiting on wifey. Like, man, why you here? Why you looking at me, man? Like, man, go.
Didn't I help you set up at the rodeo for weeks now? Why
Like,
can't you just be there?
I already dropped off the kids. Like kids, lunches are packed. You know what I mean? I'm daddy of the year. Lunches are packed. They're fed. I just need you to help doing the chongos. Like I done went to 2 different school drop offs. Like what's up? Are you?
Bro, I feel you. I feel you. I'm by no means am Chingo Bling, but I get to spend most of my time working from my digital dungeon here for the most part. So when I want to go do something, if it was a little odd, like you just said, but this week we got spring break, so we got camps here, camp there, pick up, drop off, different hours or whatever. And I'm like, okay, I'm trying to work out other things in between that, but sometimes it's tough.
Yeah. So with that being said, I do plan on going to an open mat just so I could drill some shit. All right. So there, I'm just throwing it out there in the universe to the jiu-jitsu gods. Hey, I'll make it to an open mat.
Were you real quick before we get into it? Did you were you drilling that scissor sweep to mount
Yeah. It was we did that scissor sweep to
the neon belly, right?
Yeah, it was like kind of like neon belly, and then I think they might have shown us a another couple varieties. But like sometimes there's so many techniques, bro, where you're just like
That's
okay.
hard. Any kind of scissor sweep like to engage like that is really hard.
Yeah, you ever done that one before?
Back in the day, man. Back in the day when I was actually going consistently, but you gotta feel confident that you can post up on that arm and then just take your legs through theirs and take them down.
It's like some breakdancing shit. But I kind of figured it out. You damn near like standing next to them. Oh, they even taught us a version where they grab your leg like on a MMA single leg type of thing, where they're like holding your leg, and then now you can like get close to them, drop down on that one hand, and then boom, hit the sweep.
It's When I honestly thought it was you that you had posted, but it was, I guess, your instructor.
I know.
He was like, Chingo nailed it.
Nah, he's super black belt. He's super OG. And that's the thing, bro. Like, it was one of those where it's like, you got to be Mr. Content Creator. And I knew, I was like, man, make sure you show Professor's face so don't nobody think you trying to front like that's you. But it's one of those where it's like, man, you just got to hurry up and upload it.
Yeah, bro, I hear you, man. Well, hey, we got a lot of things going on around the world. I actually had people asking like, where y'all been? Where's Chingo? And I was like, I mean, he's everywhere. It's like where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? He's in New York. He's here. He's there. He's at the rodeo. He's helping out. People don't know how many things you do. He's what?
Yeah, he's home.
He's home.
He's home. Like, do I have to like? I kind of want a podcast right now, but it's not fair to hit up Rob last minute. Like, hey, bro, you want to go real quick?
Dude, it's one of the best times of the week. You said you have been on the road. Are you hearing stuff like in the other cities, like when you go outside of Texas or even in Texas? Like, are you hearing whispers of like how people are seeing the first 2 months of this new administration?
Honestly, bro, like, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I don't really be talking about that stuff with a lot of people.
No, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
How about you? You do you hear like?
No, because even in our little area now where we're like taking the kids to either camps or practices or whatever, all the parents for the most part, they're kind of already like what you would expect in Central Texas, and I'll use that as like painting with a broad brush, obviously, but
Yeah, very broad, because you find broad. You some libtards too.
No, for sure. I mean, again, Austin's only 20 minutes up the road kind of thing, and then you're really in the belly of the beast. But no, dude, I mean, it's pretty much like, yeah, everything is, this is obviously just painting with a broad brush. Like, things going great. I think, this, that, and the other, the intimidation, to this, to that. Like, I'm willing to see where the tariffs kind of pan out. People are much more like, okay, let's see how this kind of transpires. They don't necessarily jump to, let's go commit Tesla terrorism right away,
Dude, how goofy, bro. Did you see the one boy that dug in his booty, bro? That dug in his booty and was just finger painting all on the Cybertruck. Kept digging in his booty, and just swiping his fingers, bro. And that all those Teslas, they got cameras, so they just looking at you dig all in your booty, bro. You in public. He was digging for gold and then wiping it all on the fucking Cybertruck.
That's disgusting. I thought you were gonna say the guy that lit himself on fire
by accident, then had to like jump a fence, right?
Yeah.
There's so many people doing that. I literally, like, I hop on Twitter and I'll see about 2 or 3 before I hop off the app. And there was one where the dude, because I guess it's multiple camera angles. Mm-hmm. So you see the guy key the vehicle, and then on the other camera you see him like going into his apartment. So like he literally did that right outside his house.
Oh my God, no way.
And I really wonder, like, like I wish I could just kind of like interview some of these people. Like I wonder if the cops ask them like, all right, man, look, like they're talking to their lawyer or like they're facing repercussions or somehow, some way. I'm curious, like, hey, bro, so like, what were you thinking? Oh man, I just don't like what Elon and them are doing. So what part? What exactly, man? I mean, they talking about, I think they want to cut Medicaid, Medicare. I mean, they're just stealing money. And he's just like an oligarch, billionaire, tech bro. And he's really the president right now and Trump ain't. Okay, so you took it upon yourself to scratch up some random person's car. Yeah, because, Elon's bad.
Dude, it's like those people right there that you just described, like all that they're listening to still to this day are Colbert, maybe Kimmel.
NPR.
They're hearing the same messages that they were hearing 2 years ago, but with this undertone of like, in my opinion, the highest boiling point I think we've seen in a long time, which sounds weird because it was pretty bad, honestly, during the Summer of Love, right? But the type of like directed terroristic kind of attacks that I guess that are coming from these people are just flagrant. Like I saw just before we got on, actually, it was a guy that was just on the streets, wrapped up all you can see was his eyes, and he's like, I'm out there to, take out Zionists. Like he was like, I'm just anywhere I see him, I'm just gonna take him out. Like, how many do you want to kill? Like as many as I can find. I was like what what are we talking about here? What's going on?
Yeah, I guess some people just kind of can be susceptible, man. Like,
Well, like your boy Billy Burr.
oh man, Bill Burr.
Qué triste.
He's just taking like real weird angles. You know what I mean? Like, did you see Tyler Fish do his version of Bill Burr one time? This was like the last time Bill Burr, like a few weeks ago, the last time Bill Burr went viral about some shit, and then Tyler Fish did a better version of Bill Burr. Oh, I know what it was. When Bill Burr was saying like, you got all, I knew what he was trying to say, but he was like, you got all these experts with the fires, and it's like, oh, the wind, it's like, what, your DEI or whatever. And then Tyler Fish just fucking clowned his ass. But that sucks, bro. I mean, I get it. Like everybody has different opinions about different things.
Yeah.
But it's like, damn, bro, you're just going all in on this like anti-Elon thing. Like that's his new thing, right? Like, I mean, fucking, he's wearing this suit and his outfit and the guy. And it's like
his little clips that I saw go viral from the Breakfast Club too, where he's just kind of like meandering through the thoughts. Like you could tell they're not well thought out. And he himself admittedly says like, I don't know anything. I don't keep up with anything. I don't know what's going on. I know nothing. I was like, if that's your baseline, your foundation for what you're about to say, why would anybody give this any attention?
Yeah, dude, it's like a sad like fall from grace where it's like, damn, bro, like you were the man, bro. You were the man, but you just seem like you're just all in.
I kind of personally, when I first started seeing more and more of these clips kind of come out, I thought to myself immediately, like he wants to vie for one of these late night spots that still might, be an ember of some money he can make, a couple of bags he can hang on to for like the next election cycle or two. Because I mean, as much as we would like for them to not to exist to the extent they do now, they don't get good ratings on TV. I think we can all agree to that. But they do get their ratings or their views from when they post on social. Like those clips get millions of views, which are they real views or not? Whole nother conversation, right? But I think Bill Burr is going to be the guy you see on late night in the near future.
Really? Wow.
I honestly think so.
That's a very interesting. You pulled that one out your behind, bro. Like you finna wipe it on the Cybertruck.
I mean, might as well, right? It's about as good as him doing late night is about as good as that doo-doo on the Cybertruck.
Hey, and if he does, hey, you fucking called it. Yep. Yo, did you see the footage of closing time? Fucking the Tren de Aragua, bro. I know you want to take me on.
Who is running that social media account, man? Those people need a raise.
Did you see the one where they put the how you hate when outside you can't even get in, and then the Busta Rhymes, let's go.
Yeah. But that on top of all of those, I think is the one that looked like it was a film trailer where you had the drone footage, you had them coming out of the buses and stuff. I was like, dang, like
they got those motherfuckers with the posture broken. Bitch, you coming in
your head down.
Posture broken, bro. They pushing your head down, your whole spine. You can't do shit. And then there's one they did was ASMR.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
Bro, it's like chains, handcuffs, shackles, footsteps, doors closing. It's like you're hearing. First of all, I love a lot of that type of shit, right? Like where you just hear like that the Japanese baker opening his shop, and you hear the eggs cracking and the blender, and then whatever. And it was like, oh, ASMR of some of the worst fucking scumbags that are in our country, dog. And these motherfucking judges are tripping. These judges are bullshitting. They want to literally like throw a monkey wrench in Trump's whole administration. Like they're trying to get shit done, and they're having to do things on the slick. Like when they flew them dudes out, they did it like on a Saturday. Somebody tipped off the judge. I think it was like Obama appointed activist judge. Somebody tipped him off because right away he starts sending his I don't know if they're like subpoenas or something, but basically like, hey, y'all got to turn that plane around, and I need all this information. Like basically trying to set up a trap. This is what I heard. Trying to set up a trap so that anybody who gets I guess hit with those subpoenas, they're like, hey man, I can't tell y'all all this stuff, just so they could start getting thrown in jail for like contempt of court type of thing. But more than anything, just interfering and trying to slow down what Trump's agenda is. And if you really think about it, bro, it's like y'all are really trying to use like the legal system, like how backed up the courts are. Like y'all trying to really have those people go through that whole process when they telling you the tattoo on the face tell you they down with MS-13 or whatever, or like they got a rap sheet. Like these are not good people, and you gotta send a message, set an example. And these punk ass judges, they don't care about like the will of the people, like what everybody freaking voted for. They literally want to like do the slow walk.
Yeah, the craziest part is when you hear any TV pundit or social personality that covers this kind of stuff trying to defend it in any kind of way, right? Like these people deserve any kind of constitutional rights.
Yeah. This is America. Yeah, this is America.
Exactly.
We have due process of the law, bitch.
As silly as it sounds, it's kind of good that they're doing that, because if you're going to die on that sword as a political party or as a political faction of any sort, I mean, go for it. I mean, it's only going to get worse for them here. Like you mentioned earlier at the top of the show, like 29% approval rating.
It dropped to 27 now.
Okay, see, take that for whatever you want, people listening to the show, because we always rag on polls and rag on these kind of like, whether it's an aggregate poll or whatever kind of poll, a university poll. But we can all go outside and just gauge the gas station people, the people at our kids' schools or whatever. They like what's going on, all right? They might not say it, but they prefer what's going on now than what was happening in March of 2022 or March of 2023. It just is. They just do.
Dude, honestly, man, like when all this stuff is getting uncovered, it's like the American people just taxed. You know what I mean? Overworked, taxed. You getting undercut from every angle. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not an expert on how, like, if you're one of the Patels, can the SBA hook you up to where now you can own a Motel 6 in Harlingen, Texas, where I'm gonna be on April 9th. You know what I'm saying? Like, or if you're gonna open up a Dunkin' Donuts in South Padre Island, where I'm gonna be on the 10th. Like, but because you're Indian, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, but there's all these examples of like Apple or probably even X or Tesla hiring like some Indians or people from other countries. So they're taking all them jobs up to where you an American. I saw this quote on Twitter, and it triggered me because it kind of summarizes what I'm trying to say, which is like the way the government sees you is if you're a citizen, you're just tax cattle to help pay for all the subsidize for all the immigrants and all the shit that don't concern you. Basically, like you're funding and underwriting your own demise. Like they've been stealing from your ass. Congress, you got all these millionaires in Congress. Average American gotta like bust their ass. Like, bro, gas. Like we hear this news about eggs coming down, gas coming down. And I don't know about you, but I'm like, fuck yeah, because when I got to pump in this fucking big ass vehicle, like I just want that little mental break, a little reprieve of, all right, dog, shit came down a couple cents. You know what I mean? Or it's time to go do the grocery thing. And you just get a little peace of mind that, hey, these people that we elected, they're doing stuff like, like not killing chickens. You know what I mean?
Right.
They're doing stuff to where it actually benefits us. It's almost like they want to put America first. And Israel, you see that a lot too. It'd be like America first and Israel. They be sending Israel a whole bunch of money.
Dude, and at the very least, too, when you're pumping that gas and you're seeing that like it came down a little bit, like you said, kind of gives this kind of like, okay, things are happening.
It's like, oh, I'm gonna put 89 this time instead of 87.
Wow, 93 only, but that's just me. Uh, you can at least tell yourself, okay, that means that at the very least, everything is going down a little bit, right? Because we can all agree that if you bring down the price of oil, gas, energy in general, it tends to bring everything else down as well.
Yeah. I literally, bro, I feel like the American people have just been kind of like treading water like a motherfucker, like that gator when it's about to freeze and they're gonna hibernate and they just gotta put their snout out the water because they know that they gotta get their resting BPM to 3 beats per minute and shit. And you just like, fucking President Autopen, please, President Autopen. That's what we had before. Like, you heard about that shit, the
I
Autopen?
did. I'm glad you brought that up. What do you think about that theory or that, the whole thing?
Bro, motherfuckers were pardoning themselves, dog. Like,
For those who don't know, right, set the landscape for them.
so I'll try to do my best, but they somehow discovered that a vast amount of things that Biden was allegedly signing were done via AutoPen, and if I'm not mistaken, Obama was the first one to utilize and bring in AutoPen, PEN, and the problem is certain things it has to be with a wet pen. And like, you at least got to be in the country. Like Biden was on vacation on some island and motherfuckers are getting pardons and shit. And there's even one example of I think it had to do with Biden had signed via AutoPen something where he like banned all some type of oil drill type of thing. And he comes back the next day and they're like asking him about it. Like, hey, why'd you da da da? He's like, oh, I didn't know nothing about that. And he had to re-sign, undo it the next day. And it's like, what the fuck are y'all doing, bro?
Yeah, and again, another thing people will defend on mainstream media is that he's got the constitutional authority to this, that, and the other. The executive branch can, but then I mean, you get into a really interesting conversation where this like before, if Obama had been the one to use it initially, it had never really been in the mainstream eye, right? Of if it should be allowed, if it's actually what's the word like. Is it in concrete? Like, does it actually have?
Yeah, is it void? Does it count? Yeah.
Exactly, right? Which now we're, if anything, at least we can now have that discussion and say, okay, look, there's got to be some guardrails for this. You can't just have anybody. You could essentially, what I would guess too, because unfortunately we all don't trust the institutions. Some staffer, just some kid, somebody could have been instructed to go pen sign these pardons or whatever on his way out, and none of us would ever know.
Anybody, bro. It could have been General Milley. It could have been Hunter Biden. It could have been
Hillary
like,
Clinton.
yeah, Hillary. It could have been Obama. It could have been Hillary. Any of those people from like the deep state. Blinken, he was already running a whole bunch of shit. So
Could have been Michelle Obama's, co-host on her new podcast.
her brother Craig and Mike. Boy, those motherfuckers look funny.
Weird, dude.
Oh, some funny looking motherfuckers, bro. And you know what? She might be a female, but I don't know. I need Candace Owens to look into that one. Okay. Like the main thing is Barack's fake birth certificate. That's wrong.
We talked about this way back in the day, and I'm starting to see this kind of resurface again. Right? Did you see the old video where they kind of like superimposed and they used like technology to kind of see where some of the things had been either like taken out or fabricated or whatever? And it's still interesting to me that like that kind of it comes and goes. Like there's never a definitive. We're gonna find out and then just bring all of it to light. So I still think there's a chance that happens.
Yeah. It's almost like, everything from the 2020 election, all these things that AutoPen signed. There's like so many things that just put us on this path. You know what I mean? Or even going back to like some of this Kennedy stuff, like what changed in our government. And then even when Obama signed, I forget what it's called, Smith-Mundt Act or something, but that thing that was protecting Americans from propaganda. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That he was
essentially.
Yeah, well, he like reversed it, and all of a sudden, we over here getting gaslit and shit by the mainstream media, and they're just doing like these color revolutions and stuff.
Yeah, there's so many like the Smith Munt Act. Yeah, it's funny over the years of having done the show and even before it, like you freshen up on some of these things. But at this point, I think we've forgotten more things than most people that tuned into the show over the years ever really knew, which is a good thing, right? Or even people today, like in 2025. Because so much more comes to light faster because of things like Twitter or X, since Elon buying X especially, but even before then, the wild west of what was Twitter allowed for information to get out there, and you take it in and you do videos about it or podcasts, and then elections happen and primaries happen and all general elections happen, and then you kind of forget about it, and then another cycle comes through and you're like, oh yeah, that one thing that we found out got reversed, and now we can be propagandized by our own institutions, and then you forget about it, and then you come back to it, you're like, dude, imagine the things we still don't really know in detail that people are just none the wiser about. And like NDAA, where you can be, the surveillance of Americans, all these little details from over the years that you just kind of forget about.
There's so much.
Yeah.
The Diddy files, the Epstein files.
Yeah.
I mean, everything that's happening with these NGOs and all that money, and it just being like this cyclical thing where it's like, oh, we gave all these million, or I guess the Biden administration somehow gave all these millions to Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, and then they donated $250,000 to Ashley Biden's nonprofit, and it's just like, hold the fuck up, dog. I think somebody said, bro, at the end, by the time they're done, they're gonna see that out of our 37 trillion debt or whatever, like 36 trillion of it is just these motherfuckers stealing.
Yeah, yeah. And that's another thing too, like deficit spending, right? We've heard the term deficit spending ever since Doge came into the picture. And as you start learning about more how these systems are run, it's all one big game. It's kind of like Hunger Games, essentially. You have these elites up here on this perch where they're playing this game of how do we spend within this deficit to not, set off alarms, but still get our friends to all be rich. And again, this is on both sides, obviously. It's not just one side. But the way the system is worked, it really is, and this sounds really, kind of lefty, it is against the majority of Americans, of especially the middle class. Like, this is on the backs of everybody listening to this podcast, right? Most people.
Yeah.
The middle class is a pretty big range, but if it were not for the way that the government is supposedly ran, things would be easier. But there's not enough transparency. I don't know if there'll ever be enough transparency to figure out how do you get this stuff under control. The cost of living is only going up. We hear this all the time. Nothing is keeping up with how expensive it is to maintain your home, your family life, and all that kind of stuff, right?
Health insurance.
Health insurance. You're not earning enough of a raise or enough of any kind of increase in income to justify the inflation that's all around you. Houses, cars, fuel. Yeah.
Unless you're a gimmie and they just hooking you up. Unless they just hooking you up, bro. Like you just getting free this, free that. Because you know what I mean? Like, I gotta keep going. I gotta sneeze.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, no, it's a little, it's almost discouraging and disheartening to an extent for a lot of people. But at the same time,
help is on the way.
Help is on the way. Yeah, right. The White Knight.
Yeah, right. Dude, did you hear Trump said April 2nd is going to be like Liberation Day for America or something? Because that's when the tariffs are really going to crank up.
Right.
So, man, I'm curious, bro. Like, I've been hearing so much stuff about a pending recession that basically it's like the chickens coming home to roost after they've been kind of covering up with fake numbers and fake job numbers and fake data to make it seem like, oh, nothing to worry about. And then now that Trump's in, they're like, aha, like reveal the real numbers. Like, oh, look at this. Y'all on the brink of some shit.
Yeah, right. All I can just see is Kanye just like, gotcha.
Oh, man. You got to go down Kanye's X post, bro.
Political wise or music wise? I just saw like his and it was good.
Yeah, no, it's not well, I mean, some of it is like MK Ultra type shit. And some of it is kind of like Jeffrey Epstein type shit, but it don't really have too much to do with RPT. So on y'all's own time, bro, like he was calling the Kardashians sex traffickers and saying that he has to like save his kids from them, and then he'll post like short video updates where you hear him talking and just kind of explaining like, this is why I'm really mad at all these artists. Like, they all turned their back on me. Like, I put John Legend on, and he never spoke out on my behalf when I was going through, parental child custody type things. He's like, but the minute I wore the red hat, he sure did fucking have a whole press conference talking about I can't be his friend no more, and like just stuff like that. Very interesting because it's crazy how like they will literally try to, I guess Michael Jackson you. I mean, when you're at that level, right? When you're that influential and you got Mossad on your ass or something, because like there's a lot of controversy around like Britney's conservativeship, and now there's some stuff going on with Wendy Williams, where supposedly she got, I don't know if like everybody involved is Jewish. I don't know about that part, but basically like somehow, some way they're like, hey, we have power of attorney over you now, and you got to stay in this place, and you can't go nowhere, and you don't have access to your money. Like you're there, and you got all these other people calling your shots and controlling all your shit. And some Kanye did an update. He's like, yep, I just had a knock on my door, and these people I haven't talked to in a while. I wonder if the Kardashians sent them, but they're like, hey, you should go to this retreat. He's like, come to find out, that retreat is a mental hospital, and they want to pump you up on that shit and just fucking control you.
Dude, what is going? Are we living in a simulation? We've been talking about this for 15 years, but are we living in a simulation?
I don't know. That I mean, Elon be saying shit that, he's like the most entertaining outcome is probably what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. But we are living in a crazy world where Elon is trying to warn us that America's going to go bankrupt if we don't clean up this mess and start figuring out this spending and where all this money's going, and we're paying for empty office buildings, and they signing new leases, and they're like on their way out. The previous administration is like approving shit, like throwing gold bars off the boat, like the guy got caught on tape. And he's basically saying like America's gonna go bankrupt and we're all gonna sink with it, and there ain't finna be no more America. But real quick, but the crazy MK Ultra simulation thing that we witnessed from that is somebody, like Elon is saying that. Elon is saying like, hey, we're gonna go bankrupt. We gotta like, this is like red alert. We gotta sit down, figure this shit out. And what do the fucking normies do? All of a sudden, I hate electric vehicles. I'ma dig in my booty, rub it on the Cybertruck.
To have a phrase like Tesla terrorism be what's like in the headlines today, you're just like, how is that so on the button, right? Like just. It's such a weird thing to every day. It's a new phrase. It's a new movement. I guess you could say that is happening with against Trump and Elon. But I was going to ask you, what is your take on people who are so vehemently against Elon and just Tesla, his companies, right? Like, I'll give you an example. There's that other black lady on CNN. I forgot her name. Just as uneducated sounding as Joy Reid was, but she always has a panel, and sometimes Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank's on there, and a couple other people, and that's the one where Scott Jennings is usually roasting people. And I'm sitting, and I've always watched the other side of the news just for either RPT's sake or even before that, just to be like, okay, let me take in what they're talking about, right? How are they making sense to people who are still watching that show? And after Kevin O'Leary's giving these reasons why these people who are terrorizing Tesla owners and cars and dealerships and shooting them up, lighting them on fire is a terrible thing, should go to jail and rot in hell, she's like, well, but also we should talk about the other side of this, which is the protesting. He's like, what protesting aspect? Like, are you? And she's trying to justify the actions of these crazy people. And I'm sitting there like, dude, when you used to say and still do, like, two versions on the same screen, right? Two movies on the same screen. Mm-hmm. It goes beyond that to a point I can't start to make sense of anymore.
Yeah, dude. I guess they're trying to pull like a BLM, fiery but mostly peaceful.
Yeah.
Well, they're never gonna tell you the real shit, which is like color revolutions, CIA type shit, rent a riot, like George Soros. George Soros spent X amount of money to set up this NGO, but then like lobbied or somehow raised or basically received a shit ton of millions. All he put in his one little million. Boom, he turned around and get all these millions. So now they're able to do color revolution type stuff, like fund riots, pay demonstrators, pay protesters, like all those nice bricks that were just dropped off. And you know what I mean? It's like, who's printing all these signs? Who's issuing these things to chant? hell no, Elon, Nazi, we must, no, Tesla, no, whatever. Somebody has to sit there. It might be AI, right? But like, somebody has to like pass out these little papers with the rhymes on them. And it's like a whole fucking racket. And it's trippy as fuck because on those shows, the average person, they don't realize that whatever things these people are saying on these TV shows, they don't it just kind of just sounds like, well, shit. I mean, they're telling me it's a threat to democracy. And they say it in a way where it's so like condescending, like, and now literally millionaire, multi-billionaire. So you're telling me richest man in the world, not even American, South African, is pulling the strings. He's controlling Trump, and they're gutting. They're using a meat axe. They're not using a scalpel. Like, they're using a chainsaw. And these are things that people need. And then someone's just listening, and it's like, oh no, that's bad. They're cutting good things. They're cutting things that people need. Like, good, hardworking, poor people are expecting this stuff, and now they're not going to get it because Elon, the billionaire, crook, thief, charlatan, is puppeteering the president and stealing. And then boom, that becomes their opinion.
What do they call him? They call him like President. They call Elon something, right? Like President Elon. But there's another phrase where it's like second in charge or whatever. I can't remember what the word is, but yeah, like that's so dumb. And in my opinion, the talent pool on these news stations or on these shows that are going on 24 hours a day has dwindled to a point where they, in my opinion, they can't send a convincing message. Even if they use like that voice, like I remember Soul back in the day, she would do, you and her would be in the back or in the car or something, and she would do like that anchor voice where like every news story is kind of told in the serious, kind of monotone kind of way. And that's been going on forever, and it's still going on. But now the people that are doing it are so bad at doing it that you just can't take them seriously. Like there's too many Chingo Blings or Steven Crowders or whoever in the world giving you the real to the way we've understood it, and just kind of laying it out there, letting you make your own assumptions or come to your own conclusions. And then when you turn to the TV and you hear them, you're like, that doesn't sound like it's accurate at all. Like, I can't trust you.
Yeah, I guess they just like prey on people's fears and stuff. And like I've heard some good criticisms, like some good critiques of Elon. Like I forget who it was. I think it was. Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say the main one being that he's obviously got government contracts. Like he's one of these people who's an insider to a point, and there's a lot of conflicts of interest. And I'll hear those out, and yeah, they make sense. But okay, like,
but hey, you saving me money, bro. Like I'm gonna let a lot of that shit slide. Yeah. Like, look, I know listen, y'all. I know he's South African, but look, man, he just found these motherfuckers doing transgender mice experiments, dog. You know what I mean? It's like
Return of the Frog's gay.
Yeah, it's like on one hand, yeah, Turner Frog's gay. Like on one hand, I hear, like for example, I heard Schultz tell Theo Von, he was like, look, some of that shit, he's just agitating people. Like some of the stuff he'll tweet, or it's like you have the power already, so maybe relax on some of these things or whatever, right? But on the other side of the scale, it's like, yeah, I hear you, Schultz, but I'm willing to let a lot of that shit slide just because of like just how egregious some of this fraud. And I mean, to me, I truly believe that what he's saying is right, meaning we're gonna fucking go bankrupt, bro. Like, how is the interest we're paying on all this debt more than our defense budget, which is already a good amount?
In the world. Yeah, it's the most in the world.
It's already a good amount. And we're just, I like how Trump says, and I know he's not perfect either, but like, I like when he says like, we've been getting screwed by all these countries. He's like, some of our friends, some of our enemies. He's like, we've just been dumb, fat, and getting taken advantage of. He's like, all that shit finna stop. And I'm like, that motherfucker talking to me, dog.
Yes, and you know what? All those subjects, unfortunately, for the most part, are boring to people because the people that deliver it, unless you're really into it, can't seem to hold people's attention, right? But if you and I sat down and we listened to whoever it is break it down, like fill in your favorite online reporter, it could be Matt Taibbi, whoever. They go through it, and you start to kind of catch wind of like, just for instance, let's use our partners here in the north. You got Canada and Mexico. when you realize, okay, hear me out, people listening, that this clip might go somewhere. When you are a trading partner and you're talking about the defense that these countries put into their defense, the money they put in their defense, or how much goes in and out, and you realize that these countries, Canada in particular, right? Like they should be a part of America. The fact that they are their own country, and I'm just saying, if you go out there and you research how this is possible, all right, they shouldn't be their own country when it comes to how little they can actually rely on themselves. They rely on America, like most other countries do, to be able to be your own independent country. If this was decades and decades back, that land would have already been like that's. I think Canada is the largest landmass that's still allowed to be its own country that has that many resources, but has that little bit of a defense. You know what I mean? Like. Okay, like we're just essentially being nice, right? Like we're being nice and not taking over Canada by force, right? I'm not saying they should do that, but you should also not talk so tough. Like you saw some of these people with their parliament or Mexico's president or whatever, just like really getting up there and talking their mad shit to America. And I'm like, all right, guys, I guess, but like that doesn't bode well for you in the long run. Like you have almost nothing other than maybe obviously you got some energy in Canada, but you need America essentially more than America needs those countries.
You don't have the cards.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, I was at we were at a friends of the family event. Lots of, let's just say we don't know the status of, legal status of a lot of these people. So I go to the back where they got the tortas, right? They over there cutting up the tortas and shit. I go over there, just give me a torta. How the fuck I get in this position where I'm having to like defend everything Trump has allegedly ever said? ¿Y tú cómo miras eso? ¿Y tú cómo miras eso? ¿Y por qué eso? And they're like, y ahora Canadá le va a cortar la electricidad a gente de los Estados Unidos? And I was like, si se atreven. Si se atreven.
That should be a shirt.
¿A poco no? ¿A poco no? They like, sí, a ver si lo hacen. A ver si se atreven. Si se atreven. Like, dude, I had to stand on business, bro. Like, they were like,
hey, ¿quién hizo esa torta, eh? ¿Por qué te estás comiendo esa torta? Like, whoa.
Yeah, they like our food, but they don't like us.
Exactly.
But I literally had to just like break down some game because they were like, and it's a lot of good, hardworking people too that they got to watch their back now. I was like, look, man, with the people that they let in these last 4 years, I was like, con eso tienen. I was like, they got their plate full of bad guys just in these last 4 years. I was like, hicieron un cagadero y ahora la llevan los mexicanos. Ahora la llevamos todos. Like basically they done brought the heat to you. Like it's you should be mad at Biden and look at, like I didn't have time to explain like to them because I was just trying to hurry and get my torta.
Right, of course.
But like I was kind of trying to explain like they will literally flood, overrun, and replace your shit. You know what I mean? I was basically saying like lo hicieron al propósito. You know, they doing all this shit on purpose. They weaponize these people, and it's a whole racket, and it's not organic. It's not like for example, Willie Barcena's joke. I don't know if you ever heard it. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Willie Barcena. He has a joke which I think was so good because he's touching on the hottest, most divisive political talking point in the Latino community, which is immigration. And he basically says, you know, back in the day, man, when, you know, you had to cross or whatever, it was just like, you know, a couple dudes, you know, it was a small group, you know, maybe like at night and you're out there in the grass or whatever. And it's kind of like, listos, you know what I mean? And basically just kind of painting the picture that, not saying that it was good, you know, a good invasion or a light invasion. It was just really more of like, hey, geographically speaking, Mexico's located, you know, we're the neighbor. So we have that geographical advantage to where you're probably going to get a lot of Mexicans over here, right? Because you're not going to catch all of them. But, and then he goes on to say like, he's like, now, you know, I forget the rest of the joke, but it's true. It's like, if you're from the Congo, or you're from like Malaysia or Singapore, like any of these other countries, Chechnya, Yemen, I don't even know how to say these fucking countries, but like, bitch, you're not our neighbor. You don't live right there by McAllen and Brownsville. Like, you don't have that geographical advantage. How is it that somebody from China ends up in Tijuana? Like, how'd you do that? Or like Venezuelans And I don't know if you heard this, Rob, but allegedly, I think Maduro is supposed to spill the beans. The Venezuelan president is supposed to like turn his back on the Biden administration and basically give up info and be like, hey, they asked me to
About stolen
send
elections?
no, about prisoners. Like
Oh,
they asked me to send prisoners. Like they asked me. So here's the theory, bro.
please tell
I'm
me.
gonna lay this part out as clearly as I can. So Venezuela is a proxy to China and Russia. So they're just kind of like ally in cahoots, maybe subsidized. They got some type of little situation going to where China benefits if we got a whole bunch of tren de Aragua in Denver or in Aurora, taking over apartments or stabbing each other in Chicago or getting a whole bunch of free social services to try to collapse New York City, right? Because they over there paying for bullshit and stealing money. So that is another layer to the onion that will blow people's mind if they actually processed it, where it's like, wait. You're telling me that the push to have this many Venezuelan gangsters and murderers over here was literally part of a larger plan. It wasn't just, well, they're being persecuted and they need to have be in front of a judge and they're asylum seekers, because asylum seeking is one of the biggest loopholes, because you could have the biggest wall, you could have the most border patrol, you could have drones, social media, you could have all this shit in your arsenal. You can have ICE, all that. But if you just check in, todo fresco, like, hey, fucking pet the dog and shit, pet the border patrol dog, like, hey, by the way, I'm checking in and I'm an asylum seeker. Go ahead, give me my cell phone, my social security number, and give me my court date. And give me my bus pass so I can go to New York.
You know, all that, I can't disagree with anything what you just said. I'm sure if people are hearing some of that for the first time, they're kind of like, oh, that's a lot to take in. I don't understand if I haven't heard that. But you should go look up everything Chingo just said and make up your own conclusions of it. But when it comes to the asylum thing, I'm trying to look up exactly what it is, because as we all know, like, you're supposed to seek refuge in the closest, I forgot what it is. I don't know if it's the first world country next to you, or the whatever it is, the next safest country to you. Mm-hmm. But when you have people coming from around the world and you end up here, there's something to be said about, okay, we need to address that first, because if they're here seeking asylum, that's one thing, but it can't be from China, or it can't be from India, right? Wherever you say that you're coming from. And these people are the ones that need to get dealt with, in my opinion, at the kind of top of the list, because they're either coming through Canada or Mexico. And because Canada's so damn cold, most of them are coming through Mexico, right? So they're not all Mexicans, but they are coming through there. And people want to just kind of like turn their eye to it and pretend like, oh, it's just they're against Mexicans. It's like, bro, there's way more to this. Like, it's painting with too broad of a brush. And what I was going to say too, to piggyback off of everything you just said, if we were set as a country, if the population here, it doesn't matter what color, how tall, how big you are, whatever. If you're an American and you're set to where you can make a good, prosperous life, mm-hmm. then I'd be like, yeah, let's help out these other people around the world. But we're nowhere near that. I'm not trying to personally. It is America first, and I understand that's a broad statement as well, but it's not any other country, whether it's touching America or not even. It's just not. That's my opinion. And if you want to fight that, then at that point, I mean, there's almost no discussion worth having. If you don't want the best for your country first and your people, well, bro, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, bro. Can you Google this real quick?
Yeah. What you got?
America's Covert Border War. It's a book.
America's Covert Border War.
I think that's the name of it.
Yes.
Did it pull up?
Todd Bensman.
Okay, Todd Bensman. All right, bro. So look, that particular book, I skimmed a few pages in this chapter. Like I kind of like jumped around, right? And he will literally, very, very fire book.
Okay.
He will literally like break down what a special interest alien is. He's like boots on the ground. He has all the data, all the charts, all the numbers. And like what you were talking about, that if you're really an asylum seeker, wouldn't it make sense to go about things a certain way? Mm. Well, he basically breaks down like all the loopholes and how terrorists work. Like how they know how to concoct a fake ass story to know how to trick these like almost like these legal court social worker type people that are like, man, Hassan Mahmoud, his wife, dude, his story, what happened to his kid. He's here. Like they'll tell you this whole story. Then I had to go to Yemen, and then, from there I had to go, but finally I'm here. When really it's like it's all fucking made up, and they have special instructions to like lay low and basically be like a cell, like a sleeper cell.
Mm-hmm.
And they're very savvy when it comes to finding and exploiting like just legal loopholes. Like, oh, if you say this, they got to give you this, or if you show up like this, or this is how you go about it.
One of the unfortunate realities too, man, about where we live is that it is so, for the most part, comfortable and easy that there's too many people with nothing to do. They have nothing to do, right? They have no ambitions. They have no skills. They have nowhere to look other than outrage, right? Find a reason to be upset. Find a reason to be mad, because peaceful people don't revolt. There's no revolution coming from peaceful people or comfortable people, and that's unfortunately what we have here. And the people that are causing the least amount of violence, right? Most people on the right today, in today's America, in today's political landscape, they're not going to really get together the way the left does and congregate and then plot and scheme all of these dumb ideas that are just, wreaking havoc on the country, because they are happy, they are working, things are working out for them, right? They're attempting to do things. And I honestly, like I said at the top of the show, it's at such a boiling point that I don't know what to say other than try to plant seeds of info to people that you might still be around that seem really wound up. Because throughout all the years of you and I talking about this, I've never gotten to the point, even before you and I did RPT, where I would get that mad about something with people. But on the other side, those people who went all as far left as you can go have completely gone so far that they just rather not converse with me, which I've said in the past, which is fine with me. Like, I'm not losing sleep over it. But when you take that mentality at scale, you get this crazy boiling point, people shooting up Tesla factories or whatever. It's not good. Not good. Not good at all.
Bro, them cars got cameras, dog. Like, I mean...
You would think they know that, right? They were rooting for Elon just a year ago.
Yeah. It's like, well, we still like electric vehicles, just not Elon's electric vehicles. And then you had Tim Walz bragging, talking about how they were going to try to make his stock plummet and all this stuff. And it's like, so your reason that you hate him so much is because he's cutting the spending, and he calls it fraud, waste, and abuse. You call it like, oh, you got to use a scalpel, not a...
Well, Kevin O'Leary addressed that one in that panel we were talking about earlier, and he was like, "What a dunce! Like, what an idiot! Like, his constituents' retirement is essentially tied up in something like Tesla stock, right? Like, that's a huge hit to his constituency's money, their retirement, their safety net of sorts. So to say that, it's like, okay, back to what I said earlier, like, okay, keep going for it. Like, see how that works out for you the next time. I don't know if this is true. I've been hearing more and more people say that they want that guy to be the guy that runs for president during the next cycle.
Wait, who wants Tim Walz?
Yeah, like that's one of the names being talked about on the left. Like that's how, again, low the talent pool is, right? They don't have a bench they can call on. I've seen that about AOC as well, right? Like these are the people that they're really trying to slowly kind of throw out there of like, that could be our next contender. Like that's okay.
Wow. Well, this next, Trump's only been, 2 months?
Yeah.
These next, 3.5, however many years, the rest of his admin, we may be witnessing like the death of the Democratic Party, like
as a whole. And I know that sounds crazy, and people are like, "You're being hyperbolic." Like, no, bro.
Yeah, some people would attribute like that it going from 29% to 27%, based on like a lot of this hate and violence, like burning shit, just acting a fucking fool, dog.
Yeah, and you got to take it into 2-year increments, not the whole administration, right? Because once, like, I don't know what the pushes would really be for come primary season, which is like 16 months away, which, is around the corner, honestly. It'll be Christmas before you know it. I don't know who they're pushing. I don't know who they could possibly say is going to be somebody that's going to take seats away from people on the right. But you got to keep your eye out for that, right? Because the media is still really good. I mean, it's not like they don't have the biggest amount of funds. They don't care, apparently, if they make money or not. So they're going to throw out as much money as they can to get messages out there, drum up, get this boiling point even hotter, and then get people to, change their minds on the way that they see what Trump's currently doing or his administration is currently doing. So not out of the woods yet, man.
Yeah, no, you're right. Because like they're trying to start podcasts now.
That was my last thing on the list, honestly. I wanted to get your take on Newsom's podcast and obviously the Obamas. That guy's gay.
Hey, don't talk about George Lopez homeboy like that, dog.
Oh yeah, that's a name that I haven't heard in a while. He's been pretty quiet.
George Lopez is homeboy. George Lopez made his Twitter page private. Did you see that clip of him like dancing down the hallway on that Jennifer Hudson show?
I didn't know. Oh, of course.
Well, he looks like Karl Marx, bro. Everybody's roasting him because his appearance.
It does.
The hair, like Albert Einstein hair, kind of homeless looking.
Yep.
And I'm like, wait, like, are you trying to look like Karl Marx?
He's really leaning into it at this point, I think.
What the fuck, bro?
Hey, has he been on Newsom's podcast yet? Because I can see him going on there.
I don't even know if he's in the country, dog. Like, I don't know, man.
Did you go to Ireland with Rosie O'Donnell, or?
I don't know if he's on the Diddy tapes. Like, I don't know.
He's been quiet.
Yeah, it's just weird. I don't know. Maybe he just feels like, man, like it's Rap Barboza season right now. You know what I mean? Like they ain't fucking with me right now, type of thing. Or he's just kind of like, man, these fucking Latinos are all Republican now.
He's like, I don't have any fans anymore. They're not coming out to see me.
Yeah, that's another thing Kanye said. He was like, man, they literally put me in a mental institution over the red hat. He's like, now it's cool to be down with Trump. He's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, man. I'm gonna have to follow. Actually, I'm gonna do it right now. I don't know if I follow Kanye. You said read his ex.
Yeah, just go look at like just what he's been posting, like videos, and I need to hop on here in a minute and get an update.
Yeah, no, for sure. Hey, man. All right. I got another camper to pick up in 30
me
minutes.
too.
So where can everybody find you? Obviously, chingobling.com, but what's the next stop, Broseph?
Yo, April 9th, 10th, and 11th, we have Harlingen, South Padre Island, and New Braunfels. After that, 2 major weekends, Phoenix, Arizona, April 17th through the 19th, and El Paso, Texas, April 24th through the 26th. Holla at your boy.
Orale. I'm going real quick before we wrap here. Kanye hasn't posted. Where's his? I don't see any content. Did he disable his?
Let me see. It's not at Kanye West or
yeah. Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
It didn't refresh. Okay, I'm gonna start reading this, and I'm also gonna get this book. Because Chingo recommended it, America's Covert Border War. I'm putting it in my Audible right now.
Okay, cool. Yeah, if not, I was gonna say you could probably have my copy. Maybe next time I see you, because he dropped another one called Overrun, that is like more, I guess, up to date.
Okay, gotcha.
But it really puts it in perspective where it's like, it doesn't matter how big your wall is or how much wall you have or how many border patrol you have. If motherfuckers know how to just pull up with a story and check in like, hi, asylum seeker.
Give me, it's like that. Give me money.
Gimme grant.
All right, brother. Have a good one. Safe travels. I'll see you soon.
Holla at y'all later. Peace.